Hi, welcome back, and now we'll finish re-topologizing this hoodie. We have everything sorted of all our loops looking good, so now we'll work on the hood. Like I said in the last video, I don't really want to simulate anything with my hood, so I'm just going to make it quite static. So I'm going to bring in these points here, and I'm going to use those to start the creation of my hoodie. Now I'm going to move that point from directly in the center to the center of the hood so that we stay in the center of the entire garment. And I'm going to create a quad. And now I can start moving up the hood. So I want to try and keep in the same amount of vertices as I already have available. So we'll just keep creating our quads, pushing them up to the edge of the hood when we can. Okay, now here, as you can see, that's going to not look very good. So what I'm going to do is, when all this is done, and depending on my poly count, I'm going to create another edge loop to shove between them. As you can see there, it's getting harder to just push them to the edge of the hood because there's now a topology behind them, which means the vertices will automatically connect to that topology. So we're really just going around, and this is very simple, this part, because we have to follow the same topology route, meaning we need to follow all this. However, we may be able to add more geometry. So we can move this down. Because as you can see, we need a lot more geometry than we have available to us. So we'll have this follow a curve. And then from here, we'll create another edge loop. And as it begins to go around the hood, I'll add in another. And I think I'll be okay with 3. In fact, I'm going to put a small triangle here just so that this would then not continue around there and give some horrible topology, and that tiny triangle will not prove a problem. So animators do like quads, and for everything your 3D model should remain as quad as it can, even though if you look in a 3D game engine it goes to tries, quads are much easier to animate. However, if you simply have one triangle there, then it won't make a difference, especially in this hood that's going to be static anyway. That'll be fine. And now we do the same for the other side. Now we do the 2, and now we'll push everything back up to the edge. Okay, now you can see here we have this point where the mesh will end up there, and for that point we're actually going to want to bring the new topology down, because otherwise we're going to get some horrible looking normals, because it's going to try and apply a normal map, make a normal map to a point that isn't actually there. So now we take off that, we have a look, smooth shade, and that's looking pretty good, and it'll look much better when we've got some ambient occlusion on it. However, looking at our faces, we've got 982, we can have enough to add in another loop and provide some extra geometry which will be useful to go underneath the hood and give that sort of hood look. Okay, I'd say that looks pretty well. The hood here is a bit sharp, so one last thing I'm going to do is bring these points here just down a little bit. Just to try and soften up that edge. Use my symmetry to snap these back in the middle. And it looks a bit less sharp. Okay, so I'd say that looks pretty well done for our hoodie. In the next episode, we'll take this into our 3D software and unwrap it, and then begin to bake our textures and have a look at our hoodie in our game engine. So if you like the video, leave it a like. If you dislike the video, leave a dislike. If your opinions are otherwise, have any comments, questions, suggestions, or advice, just leave it in the comments down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks, guys. Bye.